Welcome to Video Battlethon 41, inspired by Gary Vaynerchuk. Today's topic is about going with the flow of life and what that actually means. So, how I see things is going with the flow of life is like sitting on that tubey, floating on water, and just letting things, letting the natural current take you at its natural pace. You're not kicking, you're not paddling towards it, and you're not paddling against the current. You're just kind of floating there, looking around, checking things out, and just noticing things, and just kind of really, how do you say, caught in the moment, and not thinking about anything, just kind of floating along and just kind of, lost in the moment. And a lot of people can say life has good things and bad things, and it's kind of ups and downs of life, and I totally agree. And one thing, I guess, why I did this video is how do you go with the flow of life? And I think the first thing in going with the flow of life is understanding the dynamics or the physics of how good things work and how bad things work in our minds anyways, because you've heard the saying, perception is reality. And whatever's happening, as the real objective truth, it kind of doesn't matter as much as what we believe about it. So I'm kind of going to offer a perspective on how do you go with the flow of life. So first off, to tell you, positive things in life, have you ever noticed that they kind of just go by in a complete blur, right? And the reason why it goes by in such a complete blur is because when you see, if you're floating down the river of life and you see something good, you kind of start to paddle towards it because that's something you want, right? So you paddle towards it, and you use a lot of energy to kind of to paddle towards it. So things go by faster than it actually goes, and you're exhausted after just going through long euphoric periods. So you're just exhausted from paddling. So in your mind, what happens is you speed up, the time, and that's why it goes by in a blur. Talking about the other part of life, the negative things. You ever notice how negative things seem to last forever, and they kind of drag on, and you're just like, I can't wait till this is over, or I can't wait. And you always hear people say, "Oh, Monday blues," and thank God it's Fridays, right? Everyone, I don't know, people hate going to work on Monday, and then they welcome the weekend. So think of it like this: if you're floating on your water tube in the river of life, and there's something negative you don't go towards, what's the natural thing you're gonna do? Is you're gonna paddle away from from that object. But if you notice, whenever you're floating on the river is still taking you down in that direction, and no matter how hard you paddle away from that object, it's still taking you down the river. So just imagine if you're paddling really hard and hard as you can, you're just fighting whatever that negative thing you want to avoid is. It's damn right exhausting, right? You kind of keep going and fighting it until you have to deal with it. So that's why negative things seem to take forever to pass by, is because you're back paddling against the natural current of the river. But no matter what, it might delay what's going to happen down the river, but it doesn't stop it. So when you understand positive things you'll paddle towards exhaust you, negative things that you paddle against will also exhaust you, the most, I guess, how we talk, energy efficient way to go is pretty much don't paddle, or don't fight, or try to change the natural current of the river or your life. Whatever happens, just roll with it, right? And everyone who's lived a few years in their life knows good stuff happens, bad stuff happens, and you just kind of go with the flow instead of getting all wrapped up in the emotion of the moment, whatever, if it's positive or negative. And a lot of people probably say, well, John, good things in life. I want those things to happen. And, everybody wants good things to happen, of course. But to expect it all the time is just not realistic. But how do you make a good experience even better? Right? What could make a good experience even better? Especially if it goes by in a flash. Wouldn't a good experience be even better if you slowed it down and actually got to enjoy it more? Because when you're really hyper focused on something really positive, kind of, you kind of, all you ever see is really that one thing you were focused on or enjoying, whatever that may be. And a better way to enjoy that positive thing would be to, how would we say, slow things down and not paddle and just let things flow at a natural rate. How they say, stop and smell the flowers, take a look around instead of paddling and, zooming through things through life, rush towards whatever you're chasing. Why not just kind of float at its natural pace, look around, and you'll really start to notice those happy moments in your life. You'll feel more engaged in it, and you'll notice more. It won't be just a blur. It'll be like, man, that was like a play by play of of something good in your life, because you actually took the time to, focus on what you're chasing, but also look around to see what else is happening, next to you, above you, below you. But I think a key thing that a lot of people would want to know is, when you encounter a negative thing, do you want to slow that down and enjoy it? And when you think about it, nobody wants negative things to last longer than they need to. And what I found really works with dealing with negative things is, if paddling towards positive things makes good things go by faster, wouldn't that same dynamic work for negative things? And what I've realized is it actually does. So, for example, when negative things happen, instead of fighting it and denying it, why not paddle towards it? And if you realize in life, when negative stuff happens, you're like, oh shit, I don't want to deal with that. But the moment when you're like, shit, I got to deal with it, and you kind of buckle down and you just go, deal with it, it passes by a lot faster. And the whole thing that makes it feel so long is from the moment that you notice the problem to the moment you deal with it. That's what actually feels really long. But the moment when you decide to deal with it, things zoom by. So what I'm saying is, if you want negative things to speed up, paddle towards it, because you'll engage it, deal with it, and create some new different results, instead of kind of putting it on the shelf and it's just kind of sitting there at the back of your mind staring you down. So yeah, that's the lessons of the day, is how you can slow things down when things are going good to appreciate that moment, and when things are going like shit, you can speed it up to get over that one hump, but there's always going to be another hump there, but it's going to shorten the negative, nail dragging, crawling over glass experience. And yeah, I found that's very effective in what you're doing. So if any of you actually are crazy enough to try out my wacky theory, would love to hear about it. But yeah, that's video number 41, The Flow of Life. Hope you enjoy this video. Thank you.